So in today's lesson, we're going to be working with two-step equations, including decimals. So again, step one, simplify both sides of the equation. Then we're going to do order of operations backwards. So get rid of addition, subtraction to the side of the variable. Then get rid of multiplication, division to the side of the variable. Then if we continue this list, we would get rid of any exponents to the side of the variable, and then any parentheses to the side of the variable, including our invisible parentheses. Okay, so starting with this one, we always look at the side of the variable. We got to get rid of the addition and subtraction part first. So let's go ahead and add 8 to both sides. Okay, so we draw our line. We bring our negative 8.2n down. We got to bring our equal sign down. And then since this is negative and this is positive, our answer is going to be negative. And then I just got to find the difference between those. So 117.06 minus 8 would be negative 109.06. Now we need to divide both sides by negative 8.2, divide by the coefficient, negative 8.2. We know that a negative divided by a negative is going to be a positive, so we don't need to worry about that. So we just divide 109.06 divided by 8.2, and we get 13.3. Now, of course, always check it. So we're going to take 13.3 times negative 8.2 minus 8, and we get negative 117.06. So it does work. We can circle it, we can move on. Again, same thing here. Am I going to get rid of the 1.8 or the 4 first? I'm going to get rid of the 1.8 because this is just the addition. This is a coefficient, so that's multiplication. So I need to add 1.8 in order to get rid of the negative. So add 1.8 to both sides. Okay, draw my line. Bring my 4x down in my equals. All right, since I owe 13 and I have 1, I'm going to owe in the end, and I just subtract those. So 13.8 minus 1.8 is 12, negative 12. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 4. Again, this was a positive, so I didn't have to bring anything down. That'll cancel my 4, so x is going to be negative 3. Now again, check that. So I'm going to take negative 1.8 plus 4 times negative 3. That gives me negative 13.8, which works. Okay, always check it before you circle. Okay, again, here, this is division, so I need to get rid of the 3.7 first. So let's subtract 3.7 on both sides. All right, we'll bring this down and our equal sign. So n divided by 4.5 is equal to, now, this is a positive, this is a negative. My positive is bigger, so I'm just going to take 7.233 minus 3.7, and I'm going to end up with 3.533. Okay, now this is division. So how do I get rid of division? Multiply by 4.5 on both sides. All right, the 4.5s will cancel, and n is going to be equal to 3.533 times 4.5, which is 15.8985. Now, just go ahead and check that. So we take that number, divide it by 4.5, hit equals, and we're going to add 3.7, and we get 7.233. So it works. Now, we're not going to round anything. This is the exact answer. That's what we need. All right, so again, we need to get rid of this 5.7 first because this is division. We do that later. So let's add 5.7 to both sides. I'm going to draw my line. I got to bring this down and my equal sign down. So r divided by 6.8, and it is positive, so I just leave that equals. Okay, now I have 5.7, I owe 5.5, so I have more. So I'm going to do 5.7 minus 5.508. So what I'm going to have left is 0.192. All right, and then we got to undo the division by multiplying by 6.8 on both sides. Okay, so I'm left with r is equal to 0.192 times 6.8 is 1. What I end up there with is 1.3056. And again, I don't want to round that at all. So I'm going to take 1.3056 divided by 6.8, hit equals. And then we can add a negative 5.7. And we get negative 5.508, so that does work. We checked it, and we can circle it. Okay, now with this one, this is different, okay? This is our invisible parentheses one, so we actually need to get rid of the division first. So let's multiply both sides by 7.003. All right, that cancels that. We can break open the parentheses. We get 6.4 plus x is equal to, okay, let's do our 0.171 times 7.003, and we get a long decimal here, 1.197513. Okay, and then let's subtract 6.4 on both sides. And we're going to get x is equal to, okay, now we know this is going to be negative because we have negative 6 and a positive 1. So I'm just going to take that 6.4 minus 1.193. And I know I'm going to have a negative 5.202487. 5.202487. So that doesn't repeat at all. It does terminate right there. So now take that and check it. So we're going to take negative 5.202487 plus 6.4. Always hit equals because then we're going to divide by 7.003 and we get 0.171. And that should be negative there. So let's try that again because when I did that, I actually got a positive 0.171. So let's go ahead and try that again. We'll do 6.4 plus negative 5.202487. And we got to hit equals. Okay, and that gives us the number there. And then we're going to divide by 7.003. And again, that's a positive 0.171. So we know here that we made an error in here because we need a negative, and right now when I'm checking this, I'm getting a positive. All right, so again, this 6.4 is positive, so let's check this out here. Let's try this again. Let's do the 6.4 minus 1.197513. Okay, we get the negative 5.202487. Oh, I think what we need right here is this actually needs to be negative because this is a negative times a positive. Okay, and that's going to change this number down here when I add. Okay, so it's always important to check your answers. So we have 6.4, and we actually need to add the 1.197513. And we're going to get a negative 7.597513. All right, that looks a lot better. Now let's check that. So we're going to do the negative 7.597513. We're going to add 6.4, hit equals, and divide by 7.003. Now we get negative 0.171. So always important to check your answers. You'll always catch yourself if you do. All right, so here we go again. Put the parentheses on the top. All right, let's make sure we multiply by a negative 2.65 on both sides. We'll try to make sure that ends up being negative this time. Okay, I'll cancel those two things. We break open the parentheses. We get a minus 6.2 is equal to a negative. Let's try to get that right this time. We'll go 2.65 times 9.513. So it's a negative 25.20945. All right, now we need to add 6.2 on both sides. We're going to get A is equal to, now this will be a negative, so we'll just go ahead and subtract the 6.2 from 25.20945. We get negative 19.00945. Okay, so we get some long decimals here, but that's fine. These are our exact answers, so we want to leave it. Now we'll take that answer, negative 19.00945. We subtract 6.2, got to hit equals, and we divide by negative 2.65. And we get positive 9.513. So it does work. If you did round it, you're not going to be able to check your answer because it won't work. So we got to use the whole answer. All right, let's put parentheses around the top. Let's multiply both top and bottom by, or both left and right by 7.8. All right, so we're going to cross those out, break open our parentheses. K minus 4.4 is equal to, and negative times a positive gives us a negative, so let's go 3.038 times 7.8 gives us a negative 23.6964. All right, then we're going to add 4.4 to both sides. And so we're going to get K is equal to, now since this is a negative 23 and a positive 4, we're going to have a negative, we're going to end up with a negative 19.2964. Okay, so let's check that way. But negative 19.2964 minus 4.4, make sure you hit equals, then divide by 7.8. And we get negative 3.038. So it does work. Now, the reason I always say hit equals is because there's parentheses around this. So if you just type this in and then hit divided by 7.8, it's going to do the 4.4 divided by 7.8 first, and then it's going to do K minus whatever that is. So you got to hit equals to go ahead and finish that out. So that's our last example for this lesson, and two-step equations with decimal.